Hey, how is it that it's easier to do certain tasks and much more difficult to do others? For example, when we go to Netflix and we binge watch or spend time on social media, this is so much easier. Tend to do the stuff that we really know is important for us. For example, going to the gym or doing something for your business. We know it's good for us, but it's so much more difficult to get there and to actually do it than just sit down and watch TV, watch Netflix, or just scroll through your social media. So how is it that some things are much more easier to do and others much more difficult? Well, the solution is dopamine. Dopamine is a chemical in your body, a neurotransmitter, and gets released every time you do something that gives you pleasure. It's the pleasure that our brain craves, and being on social media or watching TV gives you the instant and very quick dopamine spike in your brain, and that's why we love doing those things. But how is it with really important stuff like going to the gym, working out, doing something for your business, doing something constructive, creative? Those things don't give you immediate gratification. It takes time for the gratification to build up and get released. Completing a task gives you a dopamine detox, but it takes time to get to that stage. And there are people who just cannot do it. They cannot focus for a long time to get to that stage where they complete a task. They prefer getting an instant, a quick dopamine fix, like watching TV and all that stuff, all that mindless stuff that we do in our daily lives. And that's why it appears as if it was very difficult to accomplish things, to get things done. We rather prefer sitting around and watching TV or going through our social media, just the mindless stuff, like watching TikTok videos or all those different other social media content. So what is the solution to it? How can you trick your brain to do the stuff that really matters and that is important to you? And the answer to that is dopamine detox. What does that mean? Well, dopamine detox means you spend a day, let's say 24 hours, where you don't do all the stuff that gives you instant gratification, okay? You fight that pleasure principle and you start focusing on stuff that is very important to you. So you stop eating the processed sugars, yes, stop eating all the sweets for a day, you stop watching TV, you stop going on your social media for 24 hours, you stop scrolling your messages for 24 hours, and you try to avoid instant gratification and you try to get your head free for the activities that you always wanted to do, that you know that are important to you, but you never get this done because you get distracted so easily. And this is what it's all about having your mind focused on what you want to achieve and not being distracted by all those other little things that give you instant gratification, okay? Dopamine gets you distracted. Pleasure principle gets you distracted. Pursuing instant gratification gets you distracted. Another thing about dopamine is that while you're getting those instant gratifications, those fixes, the pleasure principle doesn't give you any satisfaction in the long term. So it's about recognizing what is short-term gratification, what is long-term gratification. You always want to pursue the long-term gratification because this will benefit you in the long term. And the instant gratification is something that you get a quick dopamine spike in the moment, but then you want more, and actually it's not getting you anywhere, and you're just procrastinating and wasting your time. So it's about long-term, it's about sustainability. And the more you focus on those instant dopamine fixes, the less you will appreciate the little moments in life, the moments that are really important. So when you do the dopamine detox, you are actually lowering your tolerance, so that it's the smaller things that will give you more gratification and more joy when you experience them. So it's very important not to get addicted to dopamine, not to get addicted to that instant gratification, because if you get addicted, you will appreciate life less. And if you don't get addicted, you will appreciate daily life more. And that's very important to bear in mind when you're thinking about self-development and how to tackle all those hard things and how to improve and how to develop. So you have to become independent of those instant gratifications, of those instant dopamine spikes, and try to get those dopamine releases from hard activities that will give you long-term benefits. I can talk from my personal experience. I mean, I also get addicted quite a lot. I'm addicted to coffee. I like to drink coffee quite a lot, and even like 4 or 5 times a day, which is not good for the body. It's not good for your teeth, and it's not good for being independent. So I try to reduce my daily intake of coffee to maybe 2. And today I'm trying to reduce it to maybe 1. Well, we will see how it goes. But it's very important to realize that all those little things like coffee here, coffee there, social media here, social media there, TV here, TV there, that these are those dopamine fixes, those instant gratifications, which you should try to avoid, or at least to control them and reduce them, so that you can focus on more important stuff, on more important tasks, on those hard things that will give you more success, more benefits in the long term and in the future. And you have to reprogram your brain to get that gratification from those hard things, from the process, and from completing tasks. This will be so much more rewarding in the future, and it will give you also so much more deeper and more profound satisfaction in the long term. And those instant gratifications are just distractions. They are leading you nowhere. So it's very important to take those breaks and to switch off, even if you just take 1 day in a week where you just switch off your phone, switch off social media, switch off Netflix, and just focus on the task that you wanted to complete in life. So, I know it sounds hard, but it's not that hard. It's just about doing, okay? It's just about doing, okay? You don't want to do something, but you just force yourself to do something, and you realize, oh, it's not that hard. Actually, I can do it, and actually I can find some pleasure in it. And I realize I get pleasure from completing that task. You do it once, you do it twice, you do it 10 times, and then you will reprogram your brain, you will reprogram your mind, you will just reprogram your attitude to yourself. And it's through the repetition that the success comes. So I invite you to have that mindset, okay? It's very important, and I'm working on that myself as well. When you do a dopamine detox for a whole day, you will see 5 benefits to that. And what are those 5 benefits? Here we go. First of all, you will realize that you are highly focused, okay? You're not distracted by all those little things that gives you dopamine, but you get a sharp focus when you can pursue things that you want to do. The second benefit is that all of a sudden you have a crazy amount of free time. Just think about it. How much time per week or even per day we spend on checking our social media, checking our messaging with people, watching TV, being on Netflix. If you get rid of all this for a day, all of a sudden you have nothing else left to do. All of a sudden you have so much free time and you start getting bored. And the point where you start getting bored because you have nothing else to do is that magical free space where you can then finally focus on the other activities, on the other stuff that you always wanted to do in life, to achieve in life. And you will have now the free time and your head will be free. The instant gratification is gone, and you can now focus on the extra skills you wanted to develop, on the extra business you wanted to develop, on your body workouts that you wanted to do but was always lazy to do. So procrastinating is gone all of a sudden, and now you are facing a blank wall and you can dive into those activities. The third benefit is that you will finally discover that you can get the same dopamine spikes from those hard activities that you wanted to do. okay, you're not just pursuing the quick dopamine fixes, the quick spikes, but you're actually focusing on your hard task, and you discover that completing those hard tasks will give you the same dopamine spikes, but now you get those dopamine spikes, those dopamine fixes by completing hard tasks, and you are retraining your brain. So this is actually what it's all about reprogramming your brain, reprogramming your mind, that you get your dopamine, your pleasure from those hard activities, and you learn to actually also enjoy the process, because you know you're getting slowly to your goals, and completing your goals will get you the dopamine spikes. So during detox, your brain will realize that it can get the same gratification from the more difficult task, from the hard task that you always wanted to achieve, and that will benefit you in the long term. The fifth benefit is that you can actually trick your brain, okay? It's not that you have to spend the whole day doing the hard activities. It would be difficult, especially for the beginning. You can reward yourself after completing every task. You can reward yourself with having those sweets after you complete a task. You can reward yourself with scrolling through social media for half an hour after you complete a task. So it's not that you have to really be hard with yourself. You can improve the process with small steps. So you spend an hour studying, and after you complete your study, after an hour, you can treat yourself with social media, with TV for half an hour or something like that. So you can trick your brain to think that there is a gratification awaiting you after you complete your task. So there can be something that you look forward to while you're doing the hard activity that you do. So that's a good hack to trick your brain into doing the hard things and looking forward to the gratification that you will get after you complete the task. So that might be very helpful and useful. So these were my 5 tips and 5 benefits, how to do the dopamine detox and the benefits that you will get from it. I hope you enjoy it. Please feel free to subscribe, hit that magic button. That will help me a lot, and I will see you in the next one. Cheers!